What's going on, my friends? Dustin Stelzer with Electrician U. I got to go to NECA, so this is my first time at NECA. All right, so those of you that don't know what NECA is and you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, NECA is the National Electrical Contractors Association. Going to NECA was the coolest thing. I just had never been there before. Essentially what it is a whole bunch of manufacturers of different things that are all around the electrical industry. So manufacturers of tools, we have Klein, we have DeWalt, we have Knipex, like all these different brands of tool makers specifically. But then you also have material manufacturers, so like ABB and Schnieder, who makes square D, Siemens. We had other people like Graybar. There's magazines, publications, things like Electrical Contractor Magazine. So a lot of things that are just in support of the electrical industry are there, and each one of them has like some big booth set up. Some of them have multiple booths because they have money to do that. But it's kind of like they're showing all their new stuff. What's the newest, latest, and greatest things that everybody should know about. So day one was kind of like apprentice day, really. That's where I had you people that came up to me and just, said hi, or like, oh my God, I watch your videos. So like for me, that was a cool thing to just have you guys actually come up and be like, yo, and get to sit and talk to y'all and see what you do and where you're at in your apprenticeship. And I met a couple of people that had like started watching all of this stuff years ago and now they're journeymen and everything. So it's just really, really cool to be able to connect with people. So I got to do that on day one. Day two was more industry heads, or people that ran companies, or that were like more on like the corporate side, the business side of things. So it's definitely a different vibe day one than it was on day two. But what I wanted to do was day one, I just wanted to kind of go through the entire thing and just see what was what brands were there, and get like a whole overview of the entire thing, so that on day two when I went, I could kind of really hone in and go to specific things that I was really interested in. Plus, as a YouTuber, like I wanted to meet a lot of these brands and kind of like just get to know, start relationships with some of these people. So that's kind of how I went about it. So day one, I really just went around. I wanted to see the best in show. So they had this thing that was like, best in show, where everybody that was there that wanted to participate essentially got to put in their product, their thing that they think could win the best in show. Schneider Electric won. They have this energy control center. It's called the ECC 800, which essentially, if you're thinking about microgrids, this is something that's useful. There's a whole bunch of like technology involved in it. And if you have multiple different sources that you want things to switch between, if you've got like a generator set, utility power, and like solar and all of these different things. So really cool. I will get into more of that at a later date. But it was really cool to see, like, Schneider's always doing big things, right? Like innovating, changing the whole game. For me, it was kind of like walking into the Mall of America for the first time. So like when I went into the show for the very first time, it's kind of overwhelming, like there's big tool brand names everywhere. There's booths everywhere and people walking everywhere, and everybody's talking about the newest, latest, and greatest. And it was just kind of like a crazy experience. It literally was like when I was a kid and I walked into the Mall of America and I was like, oh my God, there's Legoland and roller coasters. Like that's what I felt as an adult. I was like, oh my God, tools and materials. Like I'm such a nerd for all this electrical stuff. So anyways, for me, it was kind of Candyland. I love that. Now on day two, I spent a lot more time specifically talking to certain brands that I cared about. So like walked around, and Schnieder, I went through all of their trailers and all of the new stuff that they've got going on. And I'm gonna do more of this stuff in later videos, cover a lot more in depth on a lot of the different things that I saw there. But just kind of in general, Schnieder has this new like wired devices, connected wire devices that you can control with an app. So like receptacle switches, stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. Klein has a hard hat that has a fan that can actually blow on the back of your neck. So it actually makes somebody in Texas want to wear a hard hat because it cools you down. DeWalt had a cable tray cutter, so it's specifically for cutting cable tray if you do a whole lot of cable tray work. And then another thing I thought was cool was that Greenlee has some insulated power tools now. So instead of it just being hand tools that are insulated, they actually took a wire cutter and they put this insulating material around it, and they made the inside so that you can't get electrocuted while you're cutting through something. You could still get electrocuted. We're not like, no BS on that. But their tool is now safer because it's insulated. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, I'm gonna cover a lot of this stuff far more in depth in the next episode that I do. But those were kind of some of the things that stuck out to me most as like the coolest things at the show. And that's pretty much it. The one thing to note, this was in Nashville, Tennessee. I had been to Nashville before. There's like STAFTA and there's other tool events that happen. So I'd actually been to that exact same place before, but I never really had enough time to go around and just like be in the city. So Nashville was really cool. I'm thoroughly impressed. I kind of thought like, it's just gonna be a bunch of country music bumpkins out here. Turns out Nashville goes hard. So when we were there was a Rolling Stones concert in town. There were people everywhere, like riding these little cart things that like they were drinking while bicycling, and I don't even know what the heck you call it, but there were like buses driving around with the whole top of the bus cut off and like girls screaming and dancing. Like it was a party. It was a really cool time. There's live music at every single bar everywhere. It's just a loud, crazy, fun time. So Nashville, you go hard. I'm really impressed. Next year, NECA is going to be in Austin. So what I'm hoping is everybody that comes from Nashville thinking, live music and it's going to the live music capital of the world, like, bruh, we better show up. That's all I gotta say. 6th Street better be hopping. Maybe we need to get a Rolling Stones concert or something to like get more people in, or have like a UT game on the same weekend. I don't know when it is, but next year it is in Austin. So y'all come to my neighborhood. Come to NECA next year. Come join us. Love to see you guys there. Make sure that you subscribe. If you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up. Hit the little notification bell. Let you know every time I have a new episode come out. Please join the Discord server. There's thousands of electricians in there BSing with each other. Great place to be. Talk about code, all kinds of tools, everything. And that's pretty much it. Love you crazy fuckers. I'll see you in the next one.
Discount music and video.